Now, some of you may be at the point where you're like, nothing is working for me and I need help. But a lot of you know what works, but yet you're not doing it. And so I have a lot of thoughts about that. But for Ruth, I wanted to know, okay, what is it that you need to be doing that you're not doing? Hello, friends, and welcome to the Honeycast. I don't know if you can hear the birdies in the background, but it is spring here and it is so spring sounding. I don't think you can hear it, but what a wonderful time of year. Springtime, I'm in Nashville. The only downside is that we have some pollen coming in and some allergy kind of stuff, but I love spring. I love new beginnings. I love spring sounds. I love the greenness, and it's just a happy time for me. So today I'm here talking to you about a client of mine that when I was coaching her, she's in my Feminine Freedom Pathway group. I've got several different ways of working with me, and I do different things in each group, in each coaching opportunity. It's really amazing, and I'm so blessed and honored to be able to be a part of even what I've created. But I love being with you guys in the midst of everything. I'm not the type of coach that has got it all figured out and very removed from the very real things that are going on. I wanted to talk to you about Ruth, and I will say her first name because you don't know who she is, but she has been in my Feminine Freedom program for almost 6 months. This program really is for the woman that is trying to make lasting changes in her weight loss journey with her hormones, with her mindset, and exercise. Do you know that it is very difficult to dial all those things in a short period of time? I hear a lot of you get frustrated because you're just trying to do all the things, but you can't do all the things. And I just got a message from a client this week saying, I finally, after a year and a half, have gotten these 3 things dialed in, and I am feeling amazing. And I'm actually seeing the scale move again. Those 3 things were eating on plan strategically for her midlife, walking every day, and weight training. Those were the 3 things that she could not get dialed in all at one time. It took her a year and a half. For those of you that could discourage some of you, but I want to tell you, once you get it, you've got it. Once you get those dialed in, and a lot of that is mindset. A lot of it is very practical, week in, week out. How do we get back on when we fall off? What do we do when life happens? How do we show up for ourselves? Why don't we show up for ourselves? Why do we say we're not going to eat sugar and we eat sugar anyway? So these are the things that we deal with day in and day out, and I've dealt with even my own self day in and day out. But today I wanted to talk about Ruth because she had been making some progress, and it was really cool because I got to meet her in Nashville. She came to Nashville for a reason. We got to have breakfast and met some of her kiddos, and it was super fun to connect with her, and she was really making some progress. And then, of course, something happened. Sickness, lack of motivation, whatever, life happens. And so kind of not necessarily took steps back on the scale, but really wasn't seeing results and not feeling the mojo, not having the motivation. A lot of my coaching is actually not about weight loss. It's really the mindset. It's really about how to stay motivated when you're not motivated and how to overcome the limiting beliefs or the sabotaging thoughts that we have that actually keep us making the decisions that we don't want to make over and over, that lead to the results that we don't want. And so Ruth had been making really good decisions and changing some things and feeling really good, and then had a little blip, which is totally normal. And so in one of our coaching calls, I had asked her a question. She's like, I'm just not doing what was working for me. And here's a question I want to ask even you, my listener. What has been working for you? Are you still doing that? Now, some of you may be at the point where you're like, nothing is working for me and I need help. But a lot of you know what works, but yet you're not doing it. And so I have a lot of thoughts about that. But for Ruth, I wanted to know, okay, what is it that you need to be doing that you're not doing? So I gave her an assignment. And the assignment was, I want you to come up with the top 5 weight loss, success, wins, issues, things that you need to do specifically. So what are the top 5 weight loss, or really, and you know what, she changed it to overall health success, because it's not just about weight loss. That is important, I know, but overall health trumps that. And so we changed it to that. So here she came back, and these are the things that we had set goals for her, and we were helping her work on these. But sometimes, you know, we got a lot of plate spinning. Sometimes we either forget what the things are, we need to be reminded. Sometimes we're not able to do the things because of life happening, or maybe our mindset is keeping us from doing the things. And sometimes we're just not motivated. But here's what I want to say about that. You don't have to feel motivated to make healthy choices. You don't. I know you want to, and I do too. And sometimes I feel motivated and sometimes I don't, but I still choose to do the healthy thing the majority of the time, because I've learned I don't have to wait to feel motivated. So this is what I told Ruth. You don't have to wait to feel motivated. However, you can create some motivating thoughts for yourself. If you want to feel motivated, you guys, it's because of what you're thinking. So I want you to back into that and see, what are you thinking? Because motivation comes from your thoughts and not from your actions. So I want to share with you the things that she said that were very profound and practical and helpful for all the ladies on the call. This is a small group coaching setting with personal one-on-one coaching interwoven into all of that. So we're all kind of doing this together, but this was very specific for her, but it ended up helping everyone. It was just such a beautiful moment. So, okay, here's her number 1. No sugar whatsoever. There's some of us that just can't do sugar because you're just off. You're off and running. And I understand that. And I would also say sugar is probably the number 1 offender for women in menopause and beyond, as far as belly fat and inflammation, and really it's because of inflammation. And so if you are in midlife and you are still struggling with eating sugar and white flour and processed foods, those are the things that are going to backfire. Those are the things that are contributing to the weight gain. They're contributing to you not feeling good. And for Ruth, they immediately make her feel awful. And so she just had to say no. Well, what do we do instead? Well, we want to learn how to allow urges, which I actually did a podcast on that a couple podcasts back. Very helpful tools, changed my life. We want to learn how to allow those urges, allow those temptations. But we also don't have to be in deprivation. We can have healthy treats. Isn't that wonderful? But we have to get ready for ourselves. So what does the healthy treat look like? And it's training yourself. Oh, that sugar over there, that's not my food anymore. That's not going to serve me. That's going to cause a lot of problems for me. I'm going to go over here and have this yummy fill in the blank. It could be a trim healthy on-plan dessert. It could be a keto type chocolate, Lily's chocolate, or I like Choc Zero things. It could be anything that you make for yourself. It can be a quick Miracle Mousse makeover, or a quick chocolate smoothie, or even a hot chocolate drink, especially with the new Optimized Whey chocolate protein powder. How healthy is that? Put a little cinnamon in there, put a little vanilla in there, have a party in your mouth. So and maybe chocolate's not your thing. Whatever your thing is, you have a choice. You have the power to have something ready for yourself. And so I have what I call my stash. And of course, my kids will come ask me for my stash, and I'm like, no, this is my stash. I try to get them a stash too, but that doesn't always last very long with boys that I have 4, 21 and under, and they all like their sweets. And so the no sugar thing was huge. She's just like, I just can't do it. I cannot do it. The second thing, and this is another biggie, this was her revelation. Food cannot fix it. Food cannot fix my emotional state. Food cannot fix my stress. Food cannot fix anything. That is huge, ladies. When you come to the realization that food is not the answer, and you start feeling your feelings and looking for healthier options for answers, such as processing those emotions and maybe doing things like going for a walk, deep breathing, meditating, communicating, setting boundaries, taking care of yourself, whatever it is, but food can't fix it. And I used to be an emotional and stress eater. I would say I would be more of a stress eater. And that was a huge revelation to me, was that this food doesn't fix it. As a matter of fact, it makes it worse. and I started counting the cost. It's hard now to avoid that food, but it's going to be harder when I indulge and then I'm sad and mad and regretful and moving away from the health goals that I have. So I love it that she said that, and the whole group, the whole Freedom Sister group just went like, it was a mic drop, like, yes. And that, let's remember that. All right, let's get into some practical things. Number 3 for her was strength training. Yes, mama. Yes, ladies. If you're in midlife and you are not strength training, you want to make plans to move towards that for sure. Timing with her food. It's the 3 to 4 hour window and not eating in between. It's the not snacking, not having bites, licks, and taste. I call them BLTs. I actually like a 3.5 to 4 hour window. That's what does best for my body. That's what I feel like is adequate time to burn through. Remember, we're going to burn through current fuel. Current fuel is what you give it, either an E, energizing meal, S, fat-based meal, fuel pull meal, crossover, whatever you're going to give it. Let our bodies burn through that and then burn our own fuel. And we're going to dose with 4 doses of protein throughout the day, which would look like breakfast, lunch, snack, and dinner, 20 to 30 grams of protein. Number 5 was 30 to 40 grams of protein at each meal. These are the things that were working for her. These are the things that are working for a lot of women. It's dialing it in, being consistent, staying in it when you're not consistent, and developing these as lifelong habits that you don't even have to think about anymore. All right, the last one is making sure that she's getting enough of her carbohydrates and vegetables. Those are also 2 key ingredients, not without the other macros as well, not without fat, not without protein, but those carbohydrates are very important, and they do help your metabolism. They do help your hormones. They do help your thyroid. Now, women need to have them in different settings sometimes. Sometimes some women feel better when they have them in the afternoon, or they have them with maybe as an S helper. Maybe you add a little bit more fat to that. Maybe they need to have them in less proportion, like maybe 25 instead of 45. A lot of you can handle sort of the basic guidelines, which this is something that has helped me a lot. This is something that's helped my clients, but it's at least 2 of your meals out of the day have low glycemic carbohydrates anchored with 30-ish or more grams of protein and veggies. I cannot tell you, veggies are so important. Detoxification, fiber, elimination. They help with insulin resistance. They help clear out your fat cells. They actually have the vitamins and the phytonutrients and the minerals and B vitamins and all the things that our bodies need that estrogen was providing us when we had estrogen. But when estrogen walks out the door, then we need a little bit more help. And those carbohydrates, along with proper fats and definitely anchoring with protein, is going to be key for your midlife weight loss and overall health. So I love it. I just wanted to give these, how many of those? 6 things. So she gave me 6 things that she needs to do. These are her top 6 successful weight loss, overall health tips. And I wanted to bring that to you today, hoping that that might help you as well.